Hello! If you're tuning in for the first time, well, it's kind of our first video. My name is Miggy,
And I'm Kels.
and we're just gonna be, doing some Let's Plays. We're just two friends that love to play video games. We love video games in general, and we figured, let's just make a channel. So, Kelsey, what got you into gaming in general?
Gaming in general, it was actually a family thing for me. My dad is now retired law enforcement, but growing up for me, he was gone a lot because he would work a lot of overtime. So when he was home, his way of relaxing and us having family time is that we would watch him play video games. And
Nice.
through that, my brother and I both fell in love with them and then started playing ourselves.
Nice. Okay. And what games did he play?
Um, the first game that I remember watching my dad play that we weren't playing as a family was actually Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Nice. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was actually my first Zelda game. I remember it was Christmas. I believe it was '97 when Costco had the bundle pack, and it was Zelda. And it was funny because the bundle pack came with two controllers, but Zelda's a single player game, right? But the logic was that my dad wanted to get controllers for my brothers and I to play, so that was how I got into video games.
Nice.
Yeah, and of course Zelda is my all-time favorite. Although you wouldn't believe that seeing the Pikachu right back there with Lapras on his head. That's just my spoils from Japan.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. You gotta reap those treasures.
Yeah.
So the game that we're doing today is Legend of Zelda: The Missing Link. Um, Miggy, where does this fall in the storyline?
So it is not official Nintendo canon. This is a fan-made game, but the idea is that this game kind of ties what happens between Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. So of course there are some fan-made elements that are in there, but a lot of the assets are reused from Ocarina of Time. A couple of the things from Majora's Mask, and really, it's just kind of some homage, some fan service. And you'll notice right away that the Kokiri Forest has changed quite a bit here. This is about all that's the same. Also, the last time we tried recording this, I had a PS3 controller. Now I got a USB Nintendo 64 controller.
Yes.
So, hopefully I don't mess up too badly. But,
Well, I mean, just getting back used to it.
yeah, exactly. Yes! See? I couldn't make that last
Oh
time.
yeah.
Nailed it. Like a
So
bounce.
much better. Nailed it.
Yeah. What would you say, like, in terms of video games, what really draws you to them?
Wow, that's a good question. For me, it's mostly storyline and then the gaming mechanics themselves. So I've always loved storylines of like Final Fantasy VII, the original, the remake. We can get to that another time.
Oh, yeah.
And Kingdom Hearts. We're a huge Disney family, and so I grew up on Disney and automatically fell in love with the idea of a Final Fantasy Disney combination. Um, and yeah, I like things that keep me interested in stories, so I've never been a first-person shooter. Like, I don't do well with them, and I don't really enjoy them because unless you're playing the campaign, there's no story. So.
Yeah, no, and that's fair. I will say that first-person shooters are not my absolute favorite, but I've been playing Borderlands 2 with a couple of friends of mine online, and it's definitely one of those that I can definitely enjoy now more. I don't know, just there's so much precision that goes on with those games, and literally you could have trouble finding someone and all of a sudden you're dead. Like, for me, I've never enjoyed it as much as I wanted to.
Okay. And I mean, first-person shooters are always better, I guess, when you do it with people that you know online or friends that you have made, so that makes sense.
Right. And I mean, like like Borderlands 2 is, I don't want to say that it's old, but it's not exactly a newer game. Borderlands 3 I think came out a little over a year ago. So it's newer, but it's not as highly received or acclaimed as the second one. So, my friend absolutely loves it. His other friends all play it. They somehow managed to get me into it, and that's fine, right? I like, good games. Another one that I've been playing recently was Ghost of Tsushima. That's another really great one. The mechanics, I was in here already. Yeah, no, just the mechanics, the storyline. I love the option of having, oh yeah, there we go. There's our boy with the flips. Having the dialogue be in Japanese and having the English subtitles. And especially from my time in Japan, I was able to, pick up a little bit of Japanese, different phrases here and there, and hearing them used, especially in certain contexts where I'm like, oh, is that how it's used? Like, what's the word? Like, omaewa, like you. But then, of course, like, depending on you're saying whether you are or you have or something that is you, like, the conjugations, but I don't think they're actually conjugations. So it's just really cool to hear those little bits here and there kind of sprinkled throughout. But I absolutely love, like, great storytelling games. And, of course, just the lore of Zelda. That's what really drew me into it. Okay. What song did we play for this again, Kels? I don't
Saria's song, I think.
That's right. Okay, hold on. Nope, I played it backwards. Let's try this again.
There we go.
Yeah. And I mean, what I kind of like, right, is that Ocarina of Time really placed an emphasis on those songs. And so a lot of the music, especially if you think about it, you really only had 5 notes to play. You had the A, and then you had the C buttons, right? So how many unique combinations of songs could you make with just those 5 notes? And then on top of that, make the different modes and different moods for each one. Right? Like, how genius do you have to be? You gotta have some big play moves there. And it actually reminds me of a choir song I did forever ago by a composer, Irma Sisas, who studied astrology. And what he did was he noticed, the rotation of the planets, and he basically made what he called the planetal scale, composed of only 5 notes. And all of his pieces he wrote, like a series, were just those 5 notes. So I think that's super awesome.
Who was the composer you said?
Irma Sisas. I'll actually send you a recording of the one song we did. It's repetitive, but then it has like different canons and different layers, and it's just really awesome. I love it. Okay, so in case you guys were distracted by our talking, we just acquired the beam sword. So, fun jazz. I think we can enter that one house that was being blocked earlier. Don't die.
I think so.
Cool. Might have been this.
I think you are correct.
Nani?
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, that's another one. Nani. Because Nani means what in Japanese. And then, of course, it like the meme part of it, like you hear Nani from Omaewa Mushinderu from the anime.
Oh, okay.
Can we get this heart piece?
Are there steps on the other side?
I don't see any. So somehow we gotta make it all the way over here. Or maybe it's a trap. Maybe we'll come back to this one, because I don't think we have the luxury of a hookshot, because, well, we're not in Majora's Mask yet, right? So young Link doesn't get his ability to...
Oh! We might get a boomerang, though.
You think so? I mean, we didn't get far enough last time, so hopefully we do. That'd be cool.
I don't know. I mean, but young Link typically has a boomerang. So.
That is true. And we didn't get slingshots last time. Yeah, for those of you that are wondering, we did a first recording. The sound balance was off. We wanted to give you all some great quality gaming. So we're redoing this. And I mean, with a little bit of practice, right? Hopefully you like the commentary. Let's definitely save now that we have the beam sword.
Absolutely.
And our homeboy over here earlier, if we had talked to him, he would have told us that, basically it was our fault that the tree's dead. And it's like, bro, why you gotta be so metal like that?
Oh yeah, he was so mean when we saw him the first time last time, because he was just like, yeah, you don't deserve a fairy. Navi was right to leave you. I bet you ditched her somewhere. And it was just like, okay. That's nice.
Yeah, sorry that you can't leave the forest, my dude.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, do you see how much smoother the gameplay is right now?
So much smoother.
Oh my goodness, yeah. And then, I mean, you know, hopefully if we get enough people that want certain games played, we're down to do it. We just figured the timing of this was, you know, okay, so let's get the timing. There we go. Gotta love physics.
Oh, this is so much smoother.
So much smoother. I'm not making a complete fool of myself, just a partial fool. Look at that.
That was perfect. I forgot about the light beam.
Okay, and then, okay. So yeah, so even though this is technically our second time through, we only got, like, what, an hour into the gameplay?
If that, yeah.
Yeah. Oop. Oh.
But also, it took us a little bit longer because we were figuring out the mechanics and worrying about the stream itself, and so this time we don't have to do that because we figured it out.
Exactly. Let's see here. Do I need to reach here? But with the magic of
Maybe not. Maybe from the higher level?
maybe, but we can't reach that high.
No, I can't. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Where there's a way. I don't know. I'm trying to. Really? Really? Now you're fire keys.
What?
Now we gotta aim for this eyeball here. I'm surprised that whoever made this game didn't, you know, give us more hearts. Because you would think, oh, we just finished beating Ganondorf. At least give us, like, maybe 10 hearts. Not that we necessarily need it, but, you know, this
Well,
is...
I mean, it's kind of the same idea as with, like Kingdom Hearts, is that you always go back to level 1. You lose your dodge rolls, you lose your glides, your high jumps, and you're always back at level 1.
That is true.
Yeah.
Although, there's usually a valid excuse for something like that, right? It's like, oh, Sora's memories are, like, being corrupt. Oh, well,
Oh, yeah.
Or, like, he went into a dark sleep. Or dark sleep, wow. Into a deep sleep, and, you know, he ain't waking up.
You're not wrong, but I mean, in between, 2 and 3, and, well, actually, so there was 2, and then there were a bunch of little mini ones, and then there was, Triple D, Dream Drop Distance.
Oh, of course I was gonna fall. It was gonna happen.
Fall number 1, I wish we had a fall count.
Right, fall count. Ding.
But, yeah, Dream Drop Distance, you know, spoiler alert, Riku becomes a Keyblade Master, and Sora does not, and then Sora's, like, just super depressed with himself the whole time, and then he just ends up going back down to level 1 in 3. That's just how it goes.
Yeah. And I mean, I kind of feel bad for Sora, but at the same time, it's like, dude, like, get your act together.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I mean, yes, his friends are his power, but...
And I mean, if we're gonna be honest, that's all we need is our friends. Like, I got you, you give me encouragement, you give me great advice, you're always looking out for my well-being, and I could not be where I am without you in my life, so to that, I say thank you very much, Kels.
Oh, Miggy. Don't make me emotional.
Well,
I didn't do anything to deserve that.
Well, it's not what you did, it's who you are, so you're welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, we got a small key. We don't know where it goes to, though.
Well, yeah, I don't remember if we figured that one out.
Probably didn't, knowing our luck.
It's fine.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, just kidding. We did figure that out. I forgot that it was that fast.
Okay, do we go left or straight, do you remember?
I mean, we could go back and talk to the little guys.
We could.
Because they tell you, I think. No, they don't tell you. I think we go right.
Alright, we're going right. Okay, yeah, because now we're at this part. So,
Right.
Okay. So there is a section where it's a throwback to Ocarina of Time where the Deku
That's right.
Scrubs say 23 is number 1. So guess what tunnels we go through?
2, 3, and 5.
Yes. Now, I do want to say, in terms of this music, right, a lot of it is definitely the same themes from Ocarina of Time. A couple of borrowed elements from Majora's Mask. But you were mentioning last time, Kelsey, that it was almost as if there was like a minor key that was kind of instilled in it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Also in this one.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah. So I was gonna say, Kelsey is a music major, and she's got all the music smartness. I only minored in it. I'm not that cool. But yeah, Kelsey, tell us about what you're noticing with the music here.
Sure. So I was a music major. My degree is in music now because I'm out of school. But something that I noticed, if you actually were to leave and go back, this place is called Monktown. And the first thing that you hear is, along with the percussion, is you'll actually hear monks singing. And so it sounds like a monk chant. Oh, you have to do it again.
Okay, but yeah, go ahead and let them know. We'll get the crowd ready.
Yeah, but so you hear a monk chanting, so it's a little bit like Gerudo Valley plus like a sacred aspect to it because it sounds like a Gregorian chant.
So here we go. Listen up.
Oh, they're dead.
That is so cool. See, I didn't notice that the first time around just because I'm like, ooh, there's a cow. Of course, my brain, But then again, whenever
what is the cow needed for?
Right. But like, whenever you go on a road trip, right, you're driving along, the first animal you see, you're like, oh, look, a cow.
It's almost a requirement. You have to say cows or horses every time you see them.
Speaking of driving, what are some road trip games that you like to do?
Oh, goodness. I typically like the, if it's a really, really long road trip, I like the one where you look for things that start with each letter of the alphabet.
Okay.
So, like, you look for street signs that start with an A, or a gas station, or whatever it is, and go through as much of the alphabet as you can. Or the other one is the, I'm going on a picnic, and I'm bringing an apple. Well, I'm going, and I'm bringing an apple and a banana, and yeah. Nice. What about you?
So Kayla, my girlfriend, loves to do this game that is actually very mathematical. I don't always get to do it with her per se because, I'm driving and paying attention on the road. But what she'll do is she'll look at license plate numbers and she'll try to find some way to make 21 by adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, really any operation that you can, right? So there are a lot of times where she's just constantly doing that. And I'm like, girl, you have so much practice. All right, Kels, I'm going to try something a little different here.
Okay.
Too far.
Right. Almost.
I should have done it from the wall. But yeah, so that's like one of my favorite things is that, the numbers. And then I'll try to see how she did it. And then I'll try to see if I could do it differently. Usually this only works at a stop, though, right? Because, got to practice safe driving, y'all.
Of course.
Pay attention on
well, Mickey, why would math be so important to you?
Oh, well, it's actually funny that you say that. I actually used to suck at math, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah. So it wasn't until I had my... Oh, okay, that's not going to work too far. It wasn't until I had my high school math teacher who just... I don't know what it was. All of a sudden, anything he said mathematically made sense to me. And it's not that I had other bad teachers, but English wasn't my first language. And I don't know what it was. It was the way he explained stuff using, the different visuals, different ways of approaching stuff. And just, it clicked. It just all of a sudden clicked, and I fell in love with it. And so while I was in college, I, added on my math major, not knowing that I was going to be teaching math. I was actually interested in doing, like spreadsheets, actuarian type of work, making them six figures. But every time I tutored someone, these are our favorites. Every time I would tutor, way to put the boundary there, yo. Every time I would tutor, yeah. I would tutor someone, and they would say, Miguel, you would be a really great math teacher. And me, I personally never believed a word they said because, well, for me, I always thought I would have bad classroom management skills. Okay, I'm not locking onto them. There we go. Let's see if we can get this.
Ooh.
Okay, let's see if that works. Seriously? Yeah.
Yeah, the hitbox.
We'll try it. We'll work on it. Every kid I tutored, they would just say, Miguel, you would be a great math teacher. And I, didn't believe them. Mostly, again, classroom management. I just thought I would be the teacher that would just do stuff and let kids get away. Not that I ever did, but just I never believed in myself. And that's actually something I used to have is really bad self-confidence. And so as, I got better at tutoring and teaching, I felt that seed that was planted, just start to call to me like, Miguel, you got to be a teacher. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll be a teacher. And no regrets at all. I absolutely love math. I love sharing my joy of math with my kids. In some instances, it is contagious. Not that I'm making, future mathematicians, but, then the kids at least realize, hey, we have an appreciation for the math. We don't completely hate it. They just, they acknowledge they may not use it, and that's okay. So yeah. So
that's at least nice.
Yeah, and that's why I love math. And there's so much math I see everywhere that, I wish other people could see. I can always point it out. So what kills me is that, our education system doesn't allow the fun math to really be taught. So for instance, have you ever heard of a perfect number?
I've only heard of it in a music aspect, which would be like a perfect fourth or a perfect fifth, which are intervals.
Right. So a perfect number in itself is a number whose factors, so if I take the factors of a number like 6, right? What numbers divide into 6?
2 and 3.
2 and 3. Well.
And 1, technically.
Yes, exactly. 2, 3, 1, and 6, right? So if I take the proper divisors, which are all the numbers that are less than the number itself, they add up to the number. That's what we call a perfect number, right? So 1 plus 2 plus 3 gets us 6.
Okay.
And not every number follows that. So if you pick another number.
Me pick another number?
Yep.
How about 8?
8. Okay. So if we take the number 8, what are the proper divisors of 8?
1, 2, 4, and 8.
1, 2, 4, and 8. So what is 1 plus 2 plus 4?
1 plus 2 plus 4 is 7.
But is 7 equal to 8?
No.
No. Therefore, 8 is not a perfect number. So, right, something simple like that. It's just a simple pattern. It's a simple rule. But you don't know
I would have really enjoyed that. Yeah.
Right? And of course, you wouldn't have a full lesson on it, but, you can talk about, a list of perfect numbers. So the next perfect number is actually 28. So I like to make
So it goes from 6 to 28?
And the joke is that, within a month, there are always 2 perfect days. And those were the days I would always wear my math club shirts. Because, that's how nerdy I was.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah.
So you'd wear it on the 6th and the 28th.
6th and 28th. And there was this girl that I met forever ago at Borderline. And when I was first talking with her, I was interested in her. And this was really sad, one of my pickup lines wasn't even a pickup line. It was just I asked her birthday, and then I found out it was the 28th. And so I taught her about perfect numbers right there. And I told her, well, my birthday is the 6th, yours is the 28th, so I guess that makes us perfect for each other.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, nerdum at its finest, y'all. Nerdum.
Oh my gosh. We're gonna lose so many people just because of that.
And you know what? That's okay. We have nothing to lose right now, so
that's
as
true.
long as we're just entertaining, that's all that matters.
Yep. But yeah, Miggy just said something about a place called Borderline. And Borderline is a country line dancing bar that is in our area, and that's actually where he and I met for the first time as well.
Yeah, that has its own story.
Oh, it's a good story. Shall I tell the story?
Please do. Please entertain the audience.
So I was there, sitting at the bar, just listening to the music while a bunch of people are dancing, and hanging out with a good friend of mine. I call him by his last name, but his first name is Chris. And we're just talking, just, enjoying life. And this guy just walks up to me. And his opening line was probably not the best one. Because it was, "I know you don't know me, but I know you."
Do not ever tell someone you don't know that, please. That was... It was not my best move, guys.
No. Mind you, it wasn't a pickup line. Like, he wasn't trying to hit on me. Because he had a girlfriend.
Still do, same one.
Same one, Kayla. But yeah, so he came up and said that, and I was like, what? He was like, no, you're the soloist in all of the choir concerts locally. I was like, yeah, that is me. Okay. I was like, okay, not as creepy. Great. Awesome. And that's when I found out that he actually was a part of the same choir I was just a few years prior. So I was like, oh, okay. And we've been friends ever since.
Yeah, I always try to go to the concerts just because, I love supporting my alma mater. I also, I had so much fun in choir. Like, those were some of my best favorite memories. And so, gotta support the future Cal Lutheran Choir alum. What was your favorite song to sing in choir?
That's hard because I really had like one per year or per semester. But I'm trying to think back to my senior year now. I was so stressed with my senior recital that I'm actually drawing a blank on what songs I actually did. Veni Emmanuel was really good, but I can't remember who composed it. I really enjoyed, there was a I guess you call it a medley, even if it's only 2 songs. But it was a combination of What a Wonderful World, which everybody knows, and this song called I Love You. And it went double choir at one point, and double choir for not music nerds. Sorry, we're playing a video game where we're talking about music. It happens. Means that you separate the choir into 2 groups, whether it's a smaller group and a larger group, or equal, whatever it is, and have them singing 2 different parts. And so at one point, the large choir was singing What a Wonderful World, and the small group was singing the I Love You song. And it just sounded beautiful. The piano part was really fun. Wait, that was my senior year. What am I talking about? That was my senior year. It's hard to keep track because there are so many songs that I've done. There was also a 6-part women's piece called Veni Sancte Spiritus that was awesome, and I loved doing it. But what about you, Miggy? What were some of your favorites?
Okay, so not gonna lie, I have a playlist of just about every song I did when I was in college, and I still listen to them from time to time. I'd say for sure my favorite is, I have 2. I would say Wade in the Water, and that was one I did my freshman year. That one just, it's a gospel piece, and for those of you that don't know, it was written about the slaves that would run away. I'm gonna pause for a second. That would run away during what is it called? During the Civil War. And so, that was the gospel piece that was written. And then the other one that I really love is Zigeunerleben. And it's a German piece. It's very upbeat. It's very, flowy. And it's just, I love the solos. There's different solos in there. I was never a soloist. But, Oh, okay, I gotta sidestep this.
Yeah, no, you need to focus on this, absolutely.
But yeah, no, those were like definitely two of my favorites.
Okay.
And then we had several. There was actually a really great song that we ended for our senior year. It was "Wherever You Go," and it was just one of those inspirational songs. Just it really made me think a lot about how in my faith, right, that like wherever I go, I'm always gonna have God with me there, and it just I loved it. I remember one of our professors at our college wrote these 3 pieces for us to sing when we were in Italy. So I'm gonna brag a bit here. We may or may not have had the chance to sing in the Vatican on Pentecost Sunday. Yeah, kind of a big flex there.
Pentecost Sunday. Where did I sing? So his choir tour, his big one was to Italy, as he said. When I was there, my big choir tour was Germany. And so I believe for Pentecost Sunday, because it was always during the same time, and it was a religious school, so of course we sang religious pieces. We were at, I believe it was, I can't remember the name of the church because we could not do it at Martin Luther's actual church because it was, oh my gosh, it was under renovation for the 600-year anniversary, which was going to happen in the next 2 years. So the entire church was under renovation. It was ridiculous. So it was in another place where he had actually given sermons prior to his giant church being built.
I mean, that's still a flex on its own, right? Like, you were in a historical site, especially something of such significance like that. So I find it funny because in my choir, we had, I want to say, like 9 people who were allowed to do communion during that service. So for those of you that don't know, you can't take communion if you're not Catholic, right? And I mean, I was born and raised Catholic, so I was allowed to. And so it's funny, right? Because, I'm, like kind of like that Catholic part, and then Kelsey got to take care of the Protestant part, especially with Martin Luther. So that's kind of cool. That's actually something I did not know you did. So you're learning something new about each other.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my big flex point is because I'm a musician, and technically you are too, is that we sang in Bach's church, one of Bach's mass pieces on Bach's grave. So, about that. Mind you, his grave had been moved like 3 times, as well as the church, because of the bombings in World War II. Right. So, that was fun. But yeah, he was fine, apparently. I don't know how, but he was fine. Apparently it was it was interesting because, they let very few people actually play his organ. Oh, yay! Yay!
I was doing so good.
You were doing really well.
But continue, I interrupted you.
No, that's okay. You should interrupt me for gaming things. Also, notice, the Re-Dead are now the monks.
Dude, like, that is cool, because if you think about it, this was not in any of the other games, so someone made that. And I'm gonna zoom in. You guys might notice that's the sun icon.
Oh, the sun medallion.
And especially on the sun shield, which, mirror shield? It's the mirror shield that Link. Oh, nope, not going for 3. That Link gets in Majora's Mask. So that's a nice little, repurposing of our beautiful texture. Wait, hold on.
Oh, I love that.
And actually, I think this would be a good spot to finish up the episode. So part 1, right? We, took care of a couple of things, talked a lot about choir, talked a lot about how we met. Stay tuned for part 2, where we continue on. From what we read, this game's about a 3-hour-long game. And, we'll just play in segments, have some fun with it. If you guys have questions for us in the chat, feel free to, leave a comment. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And follow us on our Instagrams. We literally just made these today, so
Yeah.
Yeah. Stay awesome, y'all, and hope you have a wonderful, wonderful. Well, recording this Sunday, but you have a wonderful week.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you guys next time.
Alrighty then. Bye.